I just texted Justin right now with a little bitmoji like, what's going on? Here's Justin. Where's my counterpart? He's in Wyoming. He's hunting. He's having fun. And look who's at the office today. I even had to go on a sales call today. I don't know. I think Justin's got a better setup than I do right now. But I'll tell you what, Justin does share some great tips with us in this episode on how to pick a tree, how to pick a good stand location, and little tips that he works on to make sure that he can have that ultimate shot and get it all captured on film. Take a look.
Hey, good morning everybody. It's August 16th here in Northern Illinois. Nice cool morning. It's going to be hot today, so I'm out here early. It's about 8 o'clock. I need to get some work done. The plan for today is to get a stand hung to try to kill a buck in October. And I'll give you a quick rundown, or not so quick rundown, on what we're doing here. So I'm on the far east side of our property. Our property line is right here. You can see the fence. You can also see this fence crossing. It's been here for a long time. The deer are coming across. There's some tracks in here. They come down this trail, and then they get right here and it splits. This trail goes to the right and then it goes to the left. My plan is to try to get a stand somewhere up in there that I can hunt on a southwest wind, where it's blowing my wind up this valley, where if these deer come out of the neighbors through here, they can't smell me. It's nice and easy access. It's an area that we haven't hunted much before, but the last couple years I've had a trail camera up on this field, and I noticed a lot of our bigger bucks, our mature bucks, in daylight coming from the north to the south, and it just puzzled me as to where in the heck these deer are coming from, because there's not much up here to the north. Our property gets very thin up here at the top. It's just a little triangle of timber, so I don't believe that the deer are on our piece. I believe that they're in the neighbors bedding over there. They've got a big thicket over there. I don't know if they've logged it or clear cut it or what they've done in the past, but it looks to be super thick over there. And I believe that there's a bunch of deer that bed over there, and then they come off of the neighbors bedding. They cross hopefully right in here, and then they filter up into our field, and they either head north to south in our field, or I think what they do is they cut across our field and get into the main timber on our piece of property. At least that's what it seems like these deer are doing based on some of the trail camera data that I've had from the last couple of years. So with that assumption in mind, I've got two things to do today. Number one, hang a camera. Got one of these new Fusion cell cameras. I want to monitor this fence crossing. I don't normally like to monitor just individual fence crossings in a woods because it's just so limiting in the amount of pictures you can get. But for purposes of this particular area, I would like some visual confirmation that some of these deer that I'm looking for anyways are using this fence crossing. Because if they don't use this crossing, this stand that I'm about to hang, not that I can't kill a deer from it, but it's not going to be nearly as good. So I'm going to hang a camera, and one tip I want to show you guys here is, let's say this is our fence crossing, right? Deer's coming across and he's looking this direction. My initial idea is to put a trail camera right on this tree facing in here. The problem with that is, right, if you're a buck and you're sitting here and you're looking across, that thing is square in your face, right? If you're going down this trail, that thing is almost right directly in front of you. And I don't believe that every deer is scared of trail cameras, but I certainly believe that some of them are. So my plan is to use that tree. So it's just a little bit farther off to the side. I'm going to put the camera up a little bit higher, probably right about there, using an HME screw and mount, and I'm going to face it this way. So that way, hopefully, as these deer come to this fence crossing and they're surveying this piece, that camera being up there isn't quite as obtrusive as just being right in their face right there. So that's kind of the plan for the trail camera. My plan for the tree stand is to get it somewhere up to the north of me. I want to be able to hunt this on a south or southwest wind. It's always tricky when you're hunting deer that are to the east coming this way, because you've always got some sort of westerly component. Not always, but most of the time you got some sort of westerly component. So for this particular stand, I have to pick. Do I want to hunt it on a southwest, or do I want to hunt it on a northwest that's pushing down this way? The northwest is a little bit trickier because I believe that it's pushing your wind into a lot more deer that may be down this direction. So my plan is to do a southwest, hopefully a little bit less obtrusive to the deer that may be over here on the neighbors. It's also easier for me to get into. It's a shorter walk. It's a less intrusive walk from the north, from that field right down into a tree up in there. So that's my plan for today. I'm gonna get this camera up on a tree, and then I gotta get a tree stand hung. A couple other things to do, cameras to move around, blind to set up for Joey, a lot of work to do today. So I need to stop talking. I've been talking for way too long, and I need to get my butt in gear. So let's go. Oh man, picking a tree is always the hardest part about this, right? It's such a guessing game. You know, you're trying to cover as much area as possible, as many trails as possible. Think about your entrance, your exit, what you can shoot, how far it's going to be. For a guy like me, you know, and Todd and the rest of the guys on our team, we got to worry about filming. So what side of the tree it's going to be on, all that stuff. But I think I got a tree picked out. It's not the ultimate tree in the world. It's kind of a bean pole, and it's not going to provide much cover, but none of these trees in here are. But I think I can make it work. And if I face my stand, basically I think I'm going to go in this guy right here, and then all my shots are kind of down this way and up this hill. One or two of them are pretty close, but the nice thing about this is I'll be able to walk right up this ditch right here and pop into that tree, and hopefully nothing over there ever even knows I'm in here, because I'm down over this hill, this hump right here. Just come right down this ditch. It's like a 5-yard walk. I get up in that tree. I can also shoot to the other side in case something comes from below and comes up, because there are some trails that kind of come up and go out that way. So it looks like my best option. So I'm gonna grab the stand here and the saw. Let's go check this thing out. It's a little crooked, but the nice thing is it's leaning kind of back the way that I'm gonna be facing, or away from where I'm gonna be facing. So it'll be one of those nice comfy trees. It's like a recliner. There's one trail that's awfully close to this tree, but I can make it work. I may just block it off. But here we go. This is our tree right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up probably on this side right here with my sticks, and then I'm gonna hang my stand that direction, because that's where I believe the deer to be coming from. I want to be facing where those deer are at. It's gonna give me a little bit more cover up there, and then we'll see what it looks like once we get to the top. So, oh boys and girls, isn't this the fun part? The chess match, trying to figure this out. Us against them, man versus beast. This is the fun part for me anyways, trying to figure this all out. So I'm gonna get a drink of water, get the camera set up here, and get to work. All right, our stand is up. I'm just gonna show you guys a couple tips for getting your stands prepped. You know, if you're like me, I like to run and gun. I like to do new things. There's no doubt about it. Exploring new pieces of property, new areas of your property, public land. Like, the run and gun thing's awesome. It's exciting, allows you a lot of freedom in moving around. But when I am pre-hanging a stand, especially one that I want to be able to sneak into quietly and have a minimal amount of effort to get set up, I like things perfect, and I'll show you what I mean by that. First thing is going to start by when I'm putting my steps on the tree, right? In this particular case, I'm climbing up on the left side of the tree stand, right? So if you're sitting in the stand, which is right there, facing that way, climbing up on the left side of it. Since I use 4 Lone Wolf sticks to get up there, I always start my first stick on the left. That way they're going to alternate. Your top step's going to be left, right, which then allows me to step with my left foot onto the tree stand. I hate getting things set up and then having to flip these steps on my way down. It's just an ease of use type thing that I've learned over the years. So before I go up on my very first step, I'm going to figure out where I want the stand to be. I want it on the left there, so I'm going to start on the left, and that's using 4 sticks. Obviously, if you're using 3, it's going to be different, right? So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Second thing, obviously, I'm using my lineman's belt as I go up the tree. When I look at how far apart I keep my steps on the way up, what I like to do is when I'm standing on this step, so this is my bottom step, so when I'm standing foot here, I like to use my mouth to hold this Versa button against the tree. So if this thing is just about chin height, let's say right here, that's going to be the perfect amount of distance in between my steps. So about chin height to the Versa button. Okay. Next thing is going to obviously be a lifeline. We talk about these a lot, using your lifelines. I always tie my lifelines off at the bottom of the tree. It makes them way easier. So as you're going up the tree, keep in mind that you're keeping your hand underneath this prusik knot and you're pushing it up. But having this tied to the tree, I leave a little bit of slack in it, but it allows this to go up and slide up nice and easy. If you don't do that, this whole bottom of this rope comes up and then you got to worry about holding it. So tie it off. In most cases, I tie it in between my first and second step. That way, when I come up to this tree to go hunting, I can clip in and this thing is at the perfect height. I'm not having to worry about it way down at the bottom of the tree. If this tree is too big to get your rope around, a lot of times I'll use a screw in step or a gear hook or something. I'll tie off to that. Obviously, with this particular tree, I had plenty of slack to be able to tie off to. If you don't have a lot of slack, there's a little loop in the end of these things which fits perfectly over a little gear hook. So you just stretch this thing all the way out, stick that onto a gear hook. But tying this lifeline off is a very important piece of what I do for ease of getting up the tree. Bow rope is always on the opposite side of the tree, and I'm going to cut this one down. It's a little bit on the long side. I'm going to cut it so that it hangs right about here. But my bow rope, my tote rope, is always on the opposite side of the tree for my climbing sticks. So I drop it down on this side for one reason. When I'm carrying my bow up that tree, I do not want it banging into these climbing sticks and making noise. So that's everything that I can show you from the ground. I'm going to climb up right now, obviously using my lifeline. I'll show you a couple more things once we get to the top. All right, we're up in the tree now. Obviously, we got our lifeline in here. Bow rope we talked about, right? I showed you that I dropped it down on the opposite side of the tree from where my sticks are at. The other thing that I do, I know a lot of people tie their bow ropes off to their platform. The reason I don't like doing that, it's a pain in the butt, right? You got to bend all the way down, and when I'm tied into my lifeline like right now, I can't get down there. I always tie my bow rope off to my bow holder up here. That way this line is always right here, and it's much easier for me to get my bow hoisted up when that time comes. So I like to keep this up high. I usually tie it off to my bow holder. My bow holder stays on my left side right here. So as I'm sitting in this stand, I'll be facing this direction. My bow is right here. So I'll hold it right here. That way I can pick it up and shoot. My primary shot is always going to be kind of to my left. That's how I set up my stands. So having my bow right here on my left allows me to pick it up. Now I can shoot everything to my left. That trail that I came down earlier is going to be right through there. So I got some trimming obviously to do through here. A lot of this is pretty open right here. This is probably going to be my main shot is going to be right through here. So I don't have much trimming to do. I got a little hole where I can shoot up there if something gets up there, but with the way that this stand is situated, my wind is most likely going to be going right up this or kind of right that direction. So if these deer come up and get past me, if they get down into here, most likely I'm going to get busted. So I'm not going to worry too much about this. Of course, if I'm fortunate enough to get an east wind and my wind's going straight that way, now I'll have some shooting. So I will have to trim some lanes there. My main lanes are going to be straight in front of the stand. So that bottom is kind of right down through there. So I need to trim a lot of these trees. This is going to be my main thing that I need to trim is going to be this. Got another trail that kind of comes right through here. So there's really nothing to trim there. And then on this side of me, I got to cut some of these big branches down right here so that I can shoot across this valley. I'm going to have to walk over there and figure out where exactly the trails are and do some trimming from the ground as well. But I talked about my entrance to the stand. It's going to be right through here. You can see this ditch comes right underneath the stand right here. That ditch runs straight up to our field in the back. So if I come straight from that field down this ditch, I'm only maybe 5 yards off the bottom of that ditch to get up into this tree stand. So I think that's about it. You know, I like to have everything when I'm pre-hanging a stand. I just want it done. I want it perfect. I want to be able to get here, lifeline up, bow rope up, bow goes here. I usually have one gear hanger that I put right about seat height on the back side of the tree. This is where my backpack goes once I'm done with all my camera gear. It's going to be right here. It's going to be pre-hung. So I'm going to get up here. I'm going to put the seat down. You can see I'm using the offset bracket on the Lone Wolf because my tree is a little crooked. But it's nice because my stand's perfectly straight up here. So put my camera or put my backpack down. My camera goes on my right-hand side. So camera gets mounted here. And then when I'm done with it, backpack goes there, seat up, bow here, quiver there, bow rope, lifeline, everything I need is ready to go. So I'm going to finish trimming here for the day, and then I'm gonna go move some stuff around and get out of here. This is probably gonna be the end of what I'm gonna show you guys for today, because everything else is relatively basic in what I'm doing. Brushing in a ground blind, moving some trail cameras around, nothing too exciting, but need to get this stand trimmed and get this one done. I'm very excited about this spot. Wanted to hunt here the last couple years. I think I'm in as good of a tree as I'm gonna get. You know, the last thing that I'll tell you is, you know, part of the reason that I put the stand facing this direction and picked this tree is, number one, I'm facing right into where I believe the deer are gonna be coming from, which is to my east. The nice thing is the sun's gonna be setting to the west behind me, so that sun will hopefully be in those deer's eyes as they come through here. The other thing too is I wanted this tree directly behind me as these deer are coming up towards me. It's gonna give me the best back cover I'm gonna get, because this isn't a very big tree and there's just not a ton of cover around it. And there's really no other trees in this area that have any better cover than this. So I picked the best one that I've got. I got at least 3, maybe 4 good spots to shoot from here. Very easy access, good on a southwest wind. And hopefully I can shoot a deer out of this thing this year. That's gonna be the plan. There's a couple big bucks roaming around here that we've been chasing for a few years. Hopefully they start showing up on camera a little bit more regularly. But once these acorns start falling in here, these bucks are probably gonna be in here. So I'm gonna get out of here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit. The next time you see me, I will be in Wyoming and hopefully be sitting behind a nice big antelope buck with my buddy Dustin. So till next time, bow hunt or die, baby. And always wear your safety harness.
Well, as you can see, Justin has things fine-tuned. I mean, how about that? He steps on the last stick, and as long as it's right with his chin, he knows right where to put his stand. I gotta admit, he's got that pretty darn dialed in. He's got it more dialed in than I do. I'm a little bit more just get it up, get it in, and get out. But it looks like he's got a heck of a setup there, and I think those are some great tips that anybody can learn from to be able to get in and get out and have a really good stand this fall. Looks like he's dialed up, and quite frankly, I gotta admit, by looking at that hunt stand layout and how he's got everything set up, I think he's gonna have some good luck from that stand. I love those sets where you just feel like you can slip in, stay down below, be undetected, and be able to have those great shots. Looks like he's got a great setup there. I am gonna check my phone right now. Still no comment for Justin, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Brad and Brandon both were saying before this started, we hope that he gets a deer because he'll be in such a better mood when he gets back to the office here. So we're crossing our fingers for Justin that he's gonna put down one of these speed goats. In the meantime, guys, we've got some killer trail camera photos here that people have put in. Now that seasons are opened up, we're gonna be switching gears here to, let's see, some harvest. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the trophy buck photos for this week. Andrew Diller, Cody Birch, Daniel Rush, Dustin Brown, Rob Hagelberg, and Trevor Lulk. Well, I gotta say, guys, this week, any of these bucks look pretty darn good. All these photos are really good, but you know what? This week we're gonna give it to Cody. Cody, you've got 3 bucks in the picture here. Both of those look pretty good. Good shot. So Cody, make sure you get us your information so we can get you your prize pack sent out. Guys, until next time, I mean, I woke up this morning, it was cold outside, I shot my bow, I felt good, things are feeling good. I don't know, for some reason, I think we've all been cooped up for so long in the house this year with COVID and trying to stay away from people. I actually went on the meeting, I had to shake someone's hand today. It was like the first time I think I shook somebody's hand in about 4 or 5 months right now. It felt strange, I'm not gonna lie. But yes, I did wash my hands, so I should be just fine. But this is going to be a good year. I know that just about everybody I've talked to cannot wait till these seasons open up because we've just all been cooped up. So I'm glad I'm a hunter, and I'm glad I'm going to be able to get out there and spend some time in the woods. So I hope you guys are planning for the same thing. Until next time, bow hunt or die. See, Justin can't sit here and say, Todd's always out hunting, doing other things. Where's the counterpart today? In Wyoming, antelope hunting. Take 3. Sorry, Brando, for making you have to work harder.